wanted the fallout, I think, brought more attention to it than it would have gotten had you not done what you had done. But what's been the feedback and what's been the reaction?
I've had incredible feedback from everybody but ESPN. I had great feedback from the media. I was pretty happy at how the media responded to that thing, and the fans have been awesome. I talked to the guys over at ESPN, and we're working on this relationship. You guys know, I think I've made it pretty clear how I felt about the story, and I knew it was coming. I knew when they called that was going to be the thing. But the bottom line is, and I'm sitting here talking to the media, but I'm not going to put up with people's shit. I'm not going to put up with people writing stories that aren't true and saying things that aren't true. I won't. I don't care who it is, ESPN or whoever. And, I don't want to give this guy, sorry about that, any attention either, but there was a guy yesterday, it's like, he wrote this story, and you could tell this thing was like, I want some attention, I want some attention, maybe he'll get mad and say some shit and get attention. It's just bullshit. That's not the way stories should be written and stuff that should be done. Seriously, are we perfect? Hell no, we're not perfect. We're still, dude, the amount of hours that we put in a day, the amount of traveling that I'm doing this year, people from FX, Fox, the UFC think it's impossible for me to pull off what I'm going to pull off this year. But believe me when I tell you, it's going to fucking happen. I'm going to do it. And when we get stories written about us like that, and I know that sometimes it seems like I get crazy and come off too personal, but fuck yeah, it's personal. What you're saying is untrue. Just because we don't tell you everything, that's just the way we want to do it. I can tell you right now, all I have seen for the last 3 days is that Prince Fielder is making, was it $215 million? $214 million over the next 9 years, right? Sounds awesome, right? Everybody would love to be Prince Fielder. Fuck no. You don't want to be Prince Fielder over the next 3 years. When people know that, because his life's going to be horrible. His whole life is going to change. He thought it was bad before, with the shit he had going on in his life. Everybody and their mother is coming after that 214. Believe me when I tell you. Mark my words, Prince Fielder, talk to me in 5 years and tell me what it was like when the news put out there that you were making $214 million. I'm not going to do that to my guys. Even when we sat down and had that first Fox meeting, right? The guys at Fox were like, holy shit, these guys make this much money? We were like, yeah, they're like, why don't you plaster this everywhere? This is the thing that will put you guys over the top. This is the thing that people love to see and talk about. And I said, they said, look at Mike Tyson. And I said to the guys at Fox, yeah, look at Mike Tyson. Really, look at Mike Tyson. I've had these conversations with Mike. Mike said when his money was reported, his fucking life was miserable. Miserable. I'm not doing it. So just because you don't know everything, you don't have to know anything. And to be honest with you, it's none of your fucking business how much these guys are making. They're making a lot of money. And it's all the fans. You want to be a fan of the sport and you love your guys? Cool. Support them. How much money they're making is none of your business. I'm not asking you how much money you're making. I'm not going to do it.
Not enough.
Are you concerned, as the sport continues to grow, that Congress will try to do the same thing that they've done with boxing with Muhammad Ali?
Well, I think Lorenzo covered that. The thing, these guys have audit rights. They can walk in with a full accounting team and look at everything. People want to talk about this, that, and everything else. You know how many lawsuits we've been in the last 10 years? You know how many we've lost? 0.
But Dana, that same thing in boxing happens. They have audit rights, and you still have these things happening in boxing. So where's the difference?
Audit rights.
Of course,
in the Muhammad Ali Act, these guys.
I know what the Ali Act is.
They have to announce everything.
Dude, but they still have audit rights on the pay-per-views.
Let me tell you what. There has never been a sport that has been more scrutinized about everything, about the style of fighting that it is. It's brutal. It's this. It's that. We've had, and now that the thing keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's so much shit that goes on behind the scenes that you guys don't even know about. Do you know how many fucking people are coming after us every day? We're still here. Because everything we do is on the up and up. This is, and people love to come at us with all this negative shit. This is the great, like Lorenzo said, this is the greatest sports story in the last 50 years. So it is what it is. We're going to do it the way that we do it, the way that we want to do it. No matter who says what, or who does what. And if the government wants to come in and look inside, take a peek and look around, more than welcome. And many of you have heard stories and all kinds of things. Mark my fucking words right here, right now, today. We're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere, and everything that we say is true, and everything is on the up and up. We've created more opportunity, more money, and more everything. See, this is why I'm sitting here in this interview right now. Well, I don't like to do these because I get too emotional and get crazy. Lorenzo's smooth. Lorenzo never gets excited, never gets happy, never gets bummed out, you know?
You don't learn?
No, I can't. I get too crazy, man. I can't do these kind of interviews.
How come you didn't care when your
them.
website was up?
I'm not the website guy. What do I give a shit?
It's your website.
Yeah, so what? I'm sitting home watching the Patriots going to the Super Bowl, and people are talking about, listen, that's another thing. That's another thing. The SOPA guys, you know? And I've had this conversation before, and I've never talked about this SOPA thing before, but, you know, is SOPA the perfect bill? Is it the perfect? No, it's not. The only thing that we're focused on is piracy. Piracy is stealing. If you walk into a store and you steal a fucking gold watch, it's the same as stealing a pay-per-view. I don't care what your twisted, demented idea of stealing is. These kids that grew up on the internet have never had to pay for anything, so they don't think that you should have to. Keep hacking our site. Do it again. Do it tonight.
Is it true it was a hot mark?
No, you know what's happening is these guys look like terrorists now. And a bill that was about to die is about to come back. Now you guys have really made it look like terrorists.
So basically, you're supporting SOPA against the only thing out there.
Yeah, well, what happened is everybody's terrified of the internet, including all of you standing in front of me right now. I've seen it over the last 5 years. You guys are terrified of the internet. I'm not. I'm not afraid of the internet. I love the internet. It's fun to get on there and cruise around and stuff. I'm not afraid of you. So if you want to keep hacking our site, go for it. Watch what happens. You're hurting yourself.
What's going to happen?
Sit back and watch. You'll be very surprised what's happened over the last 6 days over this whole thing. You know, you go in and you start hacking, you know, big companies' websites, hacking government websites. What you're doing is you're making yourself, you're making the cause that everybody was terrified. Politicians were terrified of the internet. Now what you're doing is, now you're making them mad. The one thing that everybody has to learn and everybody has to know, you can't, you know, everybody's saying this thing, you can't beat the internet. You can't beat the fucking government. That's who you can't beat. That's a fight you will always lose.
Tell that to the tax cheats over the years. Well,
What's happened to them? They come in,
cheating taxes.
dude. When the IRS comes in, they destroy your life. They come in. They don't care what they do. They don't care if you're living in a shoebox. They will destroy you. You don't win the fight against the government.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that do and don't get caught.
Right.
I guess what the answer is, you know. So.
I agree. And there will be people in this war that will get caught and won't. I mean, if you're willing to be one of those guys that gets caught, you're an idiot.
Have you guys brought in additional resources to deal with the hacking of like the website and stuff?
Yeah. Well, you gotta understand, these guys aren't hacking our website. I mean, like I said, I'm not the website guy. If our website goes down, and first of all, I'm not eBay. My website goes down for 2 days. All right. Website's down for 2 days. We'll fix it. You're not hurting me by taking my website down. What they're doing is they're just switching our URL so it goes somewhere else. You know, that's what they've been doing. And they're very careful. I don't know if you saw the last time they hacked it, but they put up there something like that. And my guys told me this, said, we're watching you, and no, we didn't steal any of your vital information and everything, trying to make it look like, you know, that we're just slapping you around a little bit. And, you know, I don't give a shit. Knock it down again tonight. Do it. I could care less.
What have you done about people's credit cards that you have stored, though?
It's all, that stuff's all safe. That was their thing, too. When I said I didn't care, oh, you don't care about, you know. Go play games with somebody else. It's all a game. No, you're not getting it. We have a serious system over our place. There's guys out there that are so smart, they're hacking into the government's websites.
Right.
You know, these guys that are online are smart. There's guys that are geniuses, you know what I mean? And I've always said this about the internet. It's the place where cowards live. The internet is a place where cowards live. You don't scare me. You don't scare me.
Then speaking about a lot of traveling and crazy here, how do you deal with your personal life, your family, and your business life?
It's good, man. It's been a, you know, it's a balancing act that I've actually pulled off very well for the last several years. I don't miss anything. Like, my kids play a lot of sports and do a lot of things, and if there's a game, I'm very fortunate in the fact that we have a production crew, and I watch them all live on television if I can't be there. So I don't miss much. It's been good.
Dana, we're about a month into your deal with Fox, FX, and Fuel. Are you happy with the numbers that you're getting so far on, with Fox?
Yeah, no, we're very happy. I mean, the stuff on Fuel TV, again, don't quote me on this, call Fuel TV. They're up like 1,300% on their numbers. And I mean, Fuel, the guys over at Fuel are ecstatic. And got a call after our first FX fight from John Landgraf, who runs the network. And you know, this guy's a genius, what he's built over there. And he's so happy and proud to have the UFC on there. So it feels really good to be with guys that care as much about the products as we do. And couldn't be better.
Are you sensing any frustration from the fans who don't have Fuel yet?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of frustration. You know, get ready. You think you're frustrated now about not having Fuel because the prelims are on there? Ellenberger versus Diego Sanchez is going to be on Fuel. The fight from Sweden is going to be on Fuel. You know, yeah. So.
Spike TV's counter programming is about 700,000. Are you happy with those numbers?
What's that?
That Spike TV's counter programming drew about 700,000. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Hey, they got to do what they got to do. What else are they going to put on there that's going to pull 700,000? Mansers? They're fucked. They better throw a UFC program on there. It's smart. It's not stupid. I'm not going to go, what are they doing? Damn right. If I was Kevin, I'd fucking put UFC on at 5:30 in the morning till midnight. I don't blame them.
Dana, who do you think is going to be American Idol on the Saturday night?
What's that?
Who's going to be American Idol on Fox on Saturday night?
I should know this answer. I've never watched it. I don't know.
American Idol of the fight.
Oh, the fights. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't ever give predictions. Ever.
Do you speak any other languages besides English?
I barely speak English.
Always
My vocabulary is limited. Believe me. What's that?
So UFC has gone off Spike TV. You can rewind until the end of the year, archive footage. After that's going to be Bellator. UFC created Spike TV as like a home for MMA. You know, guys are used to touching Spike to get their MMA content. So now, is there any fear that Bellator just going to slide into that gap and people
No, I mean that's obviously what that was designed to do. I mean, they went out. Viacom went out and bought that company. They bought it so that they could go in there and slide that programming in there. You know, again, I don't blame them. It's done very well for them. Mixed martial arts. It's literally given the network an identity. And yeah, listen, I have no hard feelings or ill will toward this thing. If you know, the relationship between us and Spike is what got the sport to where it is today. You know, and they made in the deal that they get our content for another year, and it was very smart of them. You know, that they get to hold on to that content and pull some ratings for another year. So.
Do you have any intention of buying Bellator in the future?
Viacom owns it. Yeah. They're sitting on some serious money. I think they want it, and, you know, but no. It's a completely different format to what we do, too.
You've talked about trying to get more control over the Strikeforce show. How is that discussion going?
It hasn't. I have a meeting with them next week. So I'll meet with them next week and we'll see what happens.
Your meetings with Showtime are always next week every time we ask you.
It's true. But it really is next week. I'm not lying. It's true. It really is.
You met with Steven Espinoza in Vegas on that Strikeforce show? Did you have any substantive talks?
Yeah, we had a great conversation. You know, I like him. He's a good guy, and you know, hopefully we can work this thing out.
You know, do you think it's a problem that the Strikeforce guys, you know, I know a lot of people wrote about it saying that they're all calling out UFC guys, and if you're going to run it as a separate brand, what's the point of having the guys in that brand, you know, want to fight somebody in another brand?
Again, let me get control of this thing, and I will fix all of that. I'm telling you, I've got this thing ready to roll. I just need to get these guys on board.
And there has been some fans that have been asking about Anthony Johnson going to Strikeforce. You cut him from Zuffa, so I would imagine that would be. So you're not interested in him?
No. He needs to go fight somewhere else, get some wins, come in on weight, you know, and do the. He needs to prove to me that he can be a professional. And he can, you know, show up on weight and do the things that he's supposed to do. He gets a few fights under his belt and does that. We'll talk.
I believe Nate Marquardt is currently a free agent. Would you reconsider with him and bring him back?
Yeah, I don't dislike Nate. You know, I like Nate very much. We'll see what happens. Has he fought?
No. He had one that was canceled.
Danny, you guys just announced Jim Miller
Nate.
and Nate. That fight, how does that fight being built? Is it going to be built as an eliminator, or is it just?
Yeah, well, obviously the guy who wins that shot will probably get to take a shot at the title. Yeah.
What does Anthony Pettis?
I don't know. We'll see.
Dana, the Strikeforce card at the Arnold Classic in March last year, Strikeforce had a show. There were lots of strikes. There was a Strikeforce booth and all the whole 9 yards. Will the UFC be doing anything at the Arnold Classic, or will it still just be Strikeforce guys?
It'll probably just be Strikeforce, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Dana, he just brought up Nate Marquardt, also Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson. Other guys have been using this testosterone therapy. Do you think these guys used to taking performance-enhancing drugs, or maybe that they just have lower testosterone than the average man?
I just talked about it for like 15 minutes when we started this thing. Literally went through that for like 15 minutes.
But you don't think Chael and Dan specifically were taking performance-enhancing drugs before?
I have no idea what they did or what they didn't do, but the fact is, guys who took performance-enhancing drugs earlier in their careers have to take testosterone replacement therapy later on,
right?
Because their testosterone they don't produce it anymore. Again, I'm not a doctor, going off what I've learned and what I've heard.
I got it. A friend of mine fights in the welterweight division. Went to high school with Brian Eversole. He's texted me 3 times about your Australia maybe being on, the Ultimate Fighter being in Australia. How would he perhaps try to get himself into a slot to coach that?
We're actually going to coach it?
Yes. Brian Eversole.
Oh.
In the 170.
Brian. Yeah, okay.
He texted me 3 times trying to get me to get an answer.
Tell him to relax when I'm ready to get the Australia stuff going. I'm sure he's a guy we'll talk to.
I got you. Thank you.
Any response to Australian fans that have said that you've come back with a weekend card this time?
That's what everybody, dude. I mean, we're doing so many cards every year, and I love when people say that we're weak. Our cards are weak. 15 shows in a row, or however many we've done in a row. What's been weak? What is considered weak? We have these kick-ass fights that keep going on over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
It's often you put big names on the card. Fight will turn on.
There's only so many big names when we're doing so many shows. I mean, but that's the way the fight. You're either a fight fan or you're not. If you're looking for fucking John Jones to fight in every fight all over the world, it ain't gonna happen. You guys are gonna fight 3 times a year. You know what I mean? People, I love. Again, I'll go back to the internet. You know, it's the fans that are on the internet talking shit about, you know, oh, you don't do this for the fighters, you don't do that for the fighters, and all this other stuff. Dude, we're building these guys. We're getting these guys all. You know, you don't want to support these guys. Here's the one thing I guarantee. We're coming into Australia with a card that's going to kick ass, just like every other card has, all through 2011 and now starting. 2011 was like the sickest year of fights ever. I mean, the fights were insane. Every time I'd walk out of it, nobody even says it to me now. You guys all used to ask me, how do you beat this card? And then we come back and do another one, another one, another one. Nobody's asking me how you beat the card anymore, you know? Listen, if you don't like the fights that we set up there, don't go. Don't buy a ticket. No, I'm talking to your reporter. If you don't like the fights, don't go. Don't fucking watch it on TV and don't go. You're not a fight fan. Beat it. Get lost. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say to that.
You said at one point your favorite fight was Hughes Trigg 2.
I know.
Has it changed now?
It's at this point now where people keep asking me what my favorite fight was, and it's just like, I don't even know what to say anymore. You know, when people talk about favorite fight, the one fight that pops into my head all the time now is Dan Henderson and Shogun. You know, just an absolute dog fight, drag him out. It looks like Shogun ain't making it out of the first round, and it goes 5 rounds. Dan Henderson's done, and it looks like he's going to finish him. It was just such a good fight, and the list goes on and on. 2011, like we just did this best of 2011 show. I don't know what fights to put on there. I mean, we would have to put like every fight in 2011 on the best of show. It's been awesome, and the thing again that you know, every time we come in, and this is what I do. I'm the bells and whistles guy. I do all this stuff in the arena, and we put on the things and do the promotion and all this stuff. But those guys come in and they put on the fights. Every time, all through 2011 and leading up to now, everybody has delivered. It's been phenomenal, man. And if you're bitching about a fight card, you're not a fight fan, man. If you want to see the Jones and the this and the that and the that, they're gonna fight that year. Buy it on pay-per-view. Okay? They're going to fight 3 times a year. You can watch their fights. But the reality is there's millions of hardcore fight fans that want to see great fights. Those are the guys that are going to show up to those fights. The guys that want to see stay home, take your girlfriend out, go to dinner, do something, I don't know, and then pay-per-view will be popping up. We're doing fights every weekend now, so the one you're going to want to see will show up eventually.
The same night as Henderson Hua, there was a great fight. Bellator had Alvarez and Chandler. Did you see that fight by any chance?
Say that again?
Alvarez and Chandler, and it was the same night as Henderson Hua.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see it. I heard it was good though.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
Yeah.
Are you going to be part of any of the pre-fight stuff, like you were last time on the Fox card?
At the desk?
Yeah.
No. I was at the desk that time because it was our first show ever on Fox.
Keep Rock in control.
Yeah. No, at the Fox panel this time is Kurt Menefee, Randy Couture, and Johnny Bones Jones.
Danny, you mentioned doing fights, basically every weekend. I think like 9 of the first 10 weeks of the year, you've got something. The Montreal card dropped off. Unless I'm forgetting something, you're going to have a lull like between March 3rd and April 21st.
God.
Is that intentional? You didn't want to...
What we like about that is the build-up.
There's a fight in
No, he's right. There is a gap, though, where we've got like almost 2 months without a fight.
6 weeks, isn't it?
Dana, was Shinya Aoki brought up at all for the Japan card?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
Would you be in favor of knees to a down opponent, slap kicks to the head, if the commission were to allow that?
Yeah.
Like applied rules?
Yeah, I'm cool with knees to the head.
And banning elbows, because they usually cause a lot of cuts.
Love elbows. Elbows aren't going anywhere.
Have a foot stomps the down opponent, like stomps the head.
No, I hate head stomps.
You like the Vandalay Silva shoulder and inside?
No. That is so nasty and vicious. It's just, when a guy's hurt and starts getting head stomped on.
You've shown it on your own program. You got the best of pride things.
I know. It's the history of that organization. But yeah, it's brutal. And it's not happening live right now. It was, 10 years ago.
Would you like to see the unified rules updated with knees to the head and other changes?
I've talked about that before. Yeah, I'd be cool with that. But this is never going to happen. Not anytime soon. You know what I mean? To get in and change legislation is so hard.
Now, can that happen in Japan since the UFC is going back to they have no commission there?
No, we follow all the rules of the Athletic Commission no matter where we are.
Oh, there's a commission in Japan.
Yeah, but we follow the rules of the Athletic Commission everywhere we go. Meaning the United States, this sport is sanctioned and there are rules, the unified rules, we follow that no matter where we go.
Do you use like essentially Nevada regulations if you're in a state where there's no?
Yep. Done with me?
Cool. 40 minutes, you did not good.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I got one thing for you.
Okay.
I think you were excited.
Excuse me.
No problem.